Welcome to this meditation on becoming the observer. Today, we are going to explore a mindfulness practice that can be truly life changing. Learning to step back and observe our thoughts and emotions rather than being completely caught up in them and identifying with them. You know how when we are anxious, we say, I'm anxious. We become the anxiety. When we are frustrated, the sensation of frustration, the emotion takes over us completely. But here is what I want to offer to you today. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the observer, the awareness that can step back and notice these thoughts and these emotions even as you are experiencing them. You are both the person experiencing the emotions and the awareness observing them. This is a practice that can help you to create a space between your experiences and yourself. And in that space lies freedom, the freedom to choose how to respond to any situation in life, no matter how difficult. With this practice, we can learn to tolerate discomfort better and navigate the messy middle muddle of life without being completely overwhelmed. However, this is a difficult practice. So I would ask you to give yourself a lot of grace. Today, we are going to practice a simple sequence. First, we'll notice whatever it is that is arising, whether they are thoughts or emotions or sensations. Then we will label them as best we can without getting caught up in the perfect way to describe them. Labeling allows us to create that first step of distance between our experience and ourselves. Next, we will formally disidentify from that experience, recognizing that it is not the whole or the sum of us, just a part of us. And finally, we will embody this observer identity. Now, please don't worry if this sounds too complicated. For this practice, we will be using the breath as an anchor. And whenever a distracting thought or emotion or sensation arises, we will practice this sequence together. I will be here to guide you, and we can do this together. Please know this is not about bypassing our emotions. This is not about pretending that we are not having a difficult experience, because we certainly are human beings living in hard times, experiencing difficult emotions and situations. This is a practice to remember that there is more to us than just the difficult experience or emotion or situation. There is a part of us that remains steady, a part we can't always access. But this practice is one way to remember that observer self of yours, which is always with you. Find a position that allows you to be both comfortable and alert. You can be seated on a cushion, a chair, a couch, or cross legged on the floor. You may lie down if this is more comfortable for you. The position in any mindfulness practice is one of alert comfort. Your spine should be erect, you should be comfortable, your front should be soft, aware yet relaxed. For this practice, you may keep your eyes open, soften your gaze, and pick a neutral spot in the distance to look at. Or you may allow your eyes to close gently. If at any point you feel overwhelmed, please know that it is perfectly okay to open your eyes, to adjust your position, to notice the points where your body makes contact with the surfaces that support you. It is also perfectly okay for you to stop this practice and to return to it when you are more resourced or in the presence of a guide or mentor or a companion who is practicing with you. Now, let us begin by taking three deep conscious breaths together. Make your exhale slightly longer than your inhale. Let us begin. Breathing in slowly, hold, and exhale out slowly. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale. And now again, breathe in, hold, and a slow, long exhale out. One last time. Breathe deeply in, pause, and then slowly let your breath out. Now let your breath return to its natural rhythm. The breath will be our anchor for this practice. And as you follow the inhale and the exhale, thoughts will arise and emotions will follow thoughts. Sensations will come up and demand your attention. This is a normal part of the human experience. When you notice a thought or emotion or sensation, simply say thought or emotion or sensation. This is how you label and disidentify from it. If you are able to describe your experience, you can say, this is a thought about planning dinner, or this is a worry about work tomorrow. But please don't get caught up in thinking about the perfect words to describe your experience. Instead, focus on labeling thought, emotion, sensation. If you can name the specific emotion, then do so. This is a feeling of anxiety. This is a feeling of restlessness. This is a sensation of tightness in my chest. But there is no need to chase that perfect label. The practice is to label the thought, emotion, sensation, and give yourself the little space in between. Now, the key is this: after you notice what has arisen, practice saying, I am not this thought. I am the observer. I am not the emotion. I am the observer of this emotion. I am not the sensation. I am the observer of this sensation. This may sound like this is anxiety. I am not this anxiety. I am the observer of this anxiety. This is a worry. I am not this worry. I am the observer. I notice this worry. This isn't just a mental exercise. This is a practice to remember who you really are. Thoughts and emotions are the temporary weather of life. They come and they pass by, provided we do not cling on to them. But we are the sky, the vast blue sky, the awareness as vast as the sky that can notice and hold all of these human experiences. Continue placing your attention on your breath. Each time a distraction arises, a thought, an emotion, a sensation, you can practice this gentle sequence. Notice, label or name it if you can. Remind yourself, I am not this experience, I am the observer. You might notice that some thoughts or emotions feel stickier than others. Maybe there is a worry that keeps pulling you in, or an emotion that feels particularly intense or overwhelming. This is completely normal. When this happens, try and be extra gentle with yourself. Give yourself the grace to keep repeating, this is a worry. I am not this worry. I am the observer. I am the awareness that can hold this worry. Notice how this changes your relationship with whatever you're experiencing. We are not trying to push away the difficult experiences of life, nor are we rushing in to fix them. We are simply remembering our true nature, the spacious awareness that can be present with whatever arises. As you begin to embody the observer, you may start to notice patterns of behavior and thoughts. There goes that familiar self critical voice again. Or I notice I am worrying about not being good enough. This is one of the gifts of becoming the observer. You can see these patterns without being swept away by them. You can notice them with curiosity instead of judgment. This is one of the gifts of becoming the observer. I hope this gift brings you to this practice over and over. Another gift is that you may notice that you have a greater capacity to sit with discomfort. It is easier to work with difficult thoughts and emotions when you are not overwhelmed by them, when you are not consumed by them, when you do not completely identify with them, when you remember that you are the spacious awareness holding the experience. You are not the experience itself, even though, of course, your human self is experiencing discomfort in that moment. As we come towards the end of this practice, take a moment to check in with yourself. Do you feel differently about your experiences as a human being than when you started the practice? See if you can notice the tiniest shift, a relaxation of the tension in the jaw or neck, a feeling of lightness in your heart or your head. The shift may be quite subtle if this is your first time doing this practice. And if you feel no change at all, that is quite normal too. We have lived our entire lives being identified with our experiences. It is hard to unhook from this total and complete identification with our experiences. It is hard to embody the observer. Luckily, it is a skill that we can practice, and you can return to this meditation at any time to help you. However, this observer awareness is also available to you outside of mindfulness practice, in your daily life, in moments of stress, when you feel stuck or overwhelmed. You can always ask yourself, what am I experiencing right now? Give the thought, the experience, the sensation, the emotion a label, and then disidentify with it. Remind yourself, you are not just this experience. You are not this thought or emotion or sensation. You are the observer. In this way, this practice builds our capacity to navigate the messy middle of life, those times when things feel difficult or unclear. When we embody the observer, we have more space, more choice, more freedom. And for this reason, this is a practice it is worth pursuing. When you are ready, gently expand your awareness. Become aware of your body, its orientation in this moment, in your space, the surfaces that your body is making contact with, the pull of gravity on your body. You may now open your eyes Gently stretch, wiggle your fingers and toes, and return to the present moment. Thank you for practicing mindfulness with me today.